This was a channel, unlike most children's channels, had its own sort of purpose. It first began as a American style network, but then would expand to become a part of the worldwide television format. It even and eventually would have reached the UK, so that us lot in the UK could finally have a way to watch some more children's content, especially young me and people that were my age at the time, open up to some really cool children's TV possibilities that in the past would be limited to the main channels. Now that the whole digital satellite resolution was coming, Fox Kids finally opened its doors to the UK and many other parts of the world where they could finally have access to this new wondrous world of children's TV and the way that we think of children's TV to change forever. We are talking about a channel that was referred to as Fox Kids.
Fox Kids, Fox Kids, Fox Kids, Fox Kids, Fox Kids.
So there was opportunities for Iron Man to collide with some other Marvel characters from time to time, like, Spider-Man. And in fact, Iron Man did appear in the Spider-Man series as well. So in a way, Spider-Man working with Iron Man, there was somewhat of a connection there with, and also he even worked with Spider-Woman during the series as well, which was really cool. But yeah, it's really unfortunate that, they only had 2 series, 26 episodes in total. Maybe it should have got more, in my opinion. I mean, either way, Iron Man, I actually didn't mind the Iron Man series. I thought the Iron Man series I think they did a really good job what they worked with Iron Man. Because, I mean, back in the day, Marvel were more focused on the animated side of Marvel, which they were really, really fun to watch. The animations of Marvel, really enjoyed. And also, we also got to see Hulk here in Iron Man as well. So Hulk had the opportunity to collide with the Incredible Hulk, that is, had the opportunity to collide with Iron Man in one of the episodes, which is really cool. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Iron Man. I think they did this was one of the Marvel animated series I really enjoyed. Another Marvel animated series I enjoyed was The Incredible Hulk. I remember that intro where they would show 2 different versions of the Hulk, but obviously the Green Hulk is the one that we all familiarized with when it comes to The Incredible Hulk, and it was such a great animation series, wasn't it? Really enjoyed the animated series. It was such a fun to see Hulk smashing anybody who gets in his way. Yeah, it was really fun series, and I watched a couple of the episodes thanks to Fox Kids, who gave me the chance to watch the episodes. And surprisingly, all the episodes are available on Disney Plus now, so you can watch all 21 episodes on Disney Plus if you want to relive the Incredible Hulk's animations back from the 90s, which is really cool. But that's not the only animated series I saw. I also saw Fantastic Four, with that theme tune of, and funny enough, Fantastic Four is going to be in the cinemas this summer. So yeah, Fantastic Four has got had its own animated series, and it was really cool because in the intro it tells you it basically gives you a story of what happened to the characters, which essentially is what we're probably going to see in the movie version later this year. But it's really cool. And also, interestingly, they had a guest appearance of Black Panther, so could say this animation gave us the first opportunity to see Black Panther in action before the movie series, before the series of movies, maybe, in a way. So you could say this was the first opportunity to see Black Panther before the live action Black Panther comes in. Ghost Rider would also appear in Fantastic Four. We would have Hulk in there as well. Thor had an opportunity. Daredevil showed up as well. So there was a couple of interesting Marvel characters who would all appear during Fantastic Four and have the opportunity to shine alongside. And even Silver Surfer had an opportunity to appear alongside the Fantastic Four during their animation series, which was really fun indeed. And also these animations, by the way, based on the comics that they were doing for Fantastic Four, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man, etc. So essentially all these animation series were based on the comics, essentially, which is for these animation series, which I think was really genius of Marvel to bring these series to life. I really enjoyed it. Really cool that we had animated versions of these characters on Fox Kids. Really loved it. Now, another series that also also I remember watching briefly was the Mortal Kombat series. Yes, Mortal Kombat had its own animation series in the 90s that, I mean, I've watched it a couple of episodes. I wasn't particularly like crazy about the programming. I'll be totally honest. It was what it is. I mean, Mortal Kombat as a animation series was, yeah, it was one of those. It was one of those series that I probably watched a couple here and there. Wasn't like too megally invested into the series, but it was something for me to watch when I was waiting my favorite shows to come in. But I thought it was okay. I mean, I wasn't really like. I mean, I wouldn't tell you much of the characters because I'm not like a big fan of Mortal Kombat. But I may play the games from time to time. I may know a couple of the characters like Sub-Zero, for instance, who's in Fortnite. I mean, in terms of all the other characters, I don't seem to like. I would just watch it just for the sake of, oh, look how cool these fighters are. That was what my mindset was at the time, really. Just how cool are these fighters, and you know, let's just see what it's like. That's kind of my motivation. Really, it was just like, oh yeah, this is cool. I'll watch it. That's pretty much my sort of thing about Mortal Kombat. Really, it was just that's how I saw the Mortal Kombat series back in the 90s. Really, because I was more invested in like the Power Rangers and all the other shows that out there on Fox Kids. Now, another show we definitely have to acknowledge, and I feel like this is very, very, very important to acknowledge, is the Goosebumps series. Oh man, the Goosebumps. Oh my word. The Goosebumps live action series. I saw a bit of this. Man, it was yeah. This was some scary stuff. I'm not gonna lie. There was a lot of scares coming out of this. In fact, I mean, the intro kind of set the scene, didn't it? I mean, look at how they did the intro with this whole like spooky wind, and then eventually you would have this sort of creepy house that was being used as the intro, and then you would have that green Goosebumps intro based on the books of I.L. Steiner, obviously is the writer of the books, but the fact that you would have that intro every time, and then eventually it cuts to the action. A lot of creepy stuff happening in the series as well. Yeah, it was intense, wasn't it? The Goosebumps live action series. Lots of creepy characters to meet, and then you have the intro where the dog's eyes lit up as well, and you wonder, could this be a character we'll see in the future? Which, in a way, maybe. Either way, it was such a like a fun series, wasn't it? The Goosebumps series. Oh my word, there was a lot of creeps, a lot of scares, a lot of jump ups. One of those series, absolute, that I'm sure a lot will remember the scares of the Goosebumps series from back in the day. It was mad. It was. I mean, this is pretty much a horror show for kids. Pretty much, if you really want a jump scare, this is the show you would go to. The Goosebumps. My word, what a scary show that was. Yeah, honestly, it was incredible series that they did for Goosebumps. Never gets old. But yes, the Goosebumps series. It will. I'm sure it will live on, and I'm sure it will come to streaming platforms eventually. I think Disney Plus is showing all the episodes. I'm pretty sure they are. Well, mind you, they have got the episodes on Netflix. So if you do want to catch up with it, Netflix is the way to go. But you're going to buy a membership if you want to. And if you want to watch the new one, you're going to have to go to Disney Plus if you want to watch the newest Goosebumps live action series that they've done recently on Disney Plus. You're going to want to go there. So yes, so that's another series I remember watching. And then of course we can't ignore Sam and Max. Sam and Max. Let me tell you, Sam and Max. We're talking to sort of differentiate who's Sam and Max. But if I remember correctly, I would assume that hopefully I'm going to get this right here. Hopefully, let's put it this way. So let's just say that the dog detective is Sam, Buddy is Max. I know it can get confusing. They're obviously because of how. And yes, we do have Sam and Max from Pop Idol. No, we're not referring to them. Just ignore them for a minute. But yes, Sam and Max, they were essentially the detective who go into investigating crimes. That's what they're known for. for, and they did brilliantly, didn't they? Like, Sam and Max, such an animation characters who deal with crimes and even had their own video game called Hit and Run on Steam. Really, yeah, I know I don't really talk about video games here, but I thought I'd give it a shout because, you know, Sam and Max do somewhat live on sort of world. In terms of the TV series, they had a series, you know, their series was referred to as The Adventures of Sam and Max Freeland. Obviously, they were a part of the police department, were essentially investigating crimes, pretty much a kids' version of Crime Job, essentially, and they did a great job. They did a really, really good job with Sam and Max, and I find it really entertaining at times. Sam and Max having funny moments at times because, and the unfortunate thing is they only had one series. I was hoping they were going to do more, but unfortunately they only did one series. And yeah, it's a police comedy, and it was so much fun to watch. I couldn't stop laughing at some of the things that they were doing. It was so funny. Sam and Max, the freelance police, yeah, it'll live on, and I'm sure it will come to streaming platforms eventually, because I mean, it has to eventually, right? Surely they're not going to leave us hanging and make us like want to get about Sam and Max. I'm sure they'll find ways to bring it to streaming platforms. The love for Sam and Max. That's another series I watched on Fox Kids. And then, of course, we have to acknowledge Ace Ventura, the pet detective, the voice of Jim Carrey. And yes, by the way, the character model is based on the Jim Carrey live-action movie version of Ace Ventura. I mean, Ace Ventura, the police detective. The fact that they Jim Carrey into an animated version of that character, it was so funny. Oh man, Jim Carrey, just like he was in the movies, playing the detective character in the animations. All right, so Ace Ventura, that was another series that I came across on Fox Kids. But then, of course, we have to also acknowledge this series because this would come to Fox Kids as we enter the millennium back in the noughties, and that is Digimon. Digimon on Fox Kids. This was definitely Fox Kids was essentially the original home Digimon in the early days of its UK broadcast. I mean, the UK needed a home for Digimon, and Fox Kids provided it. Trust me, Fox Kids was responsible for bringing out a lot of VHSs for Digimon. They were the reason why VHS Digimon releases existed back in the early days. And in fact, it was because of Fox Kids that they were responsible for help transmit the Digimon movie that would eventually, in the UK, because yes, Digimon would have its own movie into the UK with the help of Fox Kids. And yes, this is the image that they went with for the Fox Kids Digimon premiere of the movie. This is another series I remember watching, and this is based on the Nintendo character. Yes, Nintendo would bring their character Donkey Kong Country. Yes, Donkey Kong had his own series on Fox Kids called Donkey Kong Country. Yes, so essentially you could say it's based on the game version of Donkey Kong Country, because obviously Donkey Kong Country had its own game in the early days, but now it has its own series. And yes, this was essentially the series version that they for Fox Kids, and it was actually kind of fun. Actually, I mean, it was. I guess you could say the animation was kind of it kind of felt like you were watching. I mean, I would imagine how gamers would look at it. It's like, oh yeah, this is cutscenes from the movie turned into a series. Well, not necessarily, because it had its own humor. I kind of enjoyed the humor that they brought into it. I think they did a point. So I think we've called out the main ones, and then of course we're going to do a separate video talking about my memories of the Power Rangers, which I have obviously quite a bit to say with the Power Rangers because I read quite a few Power Rangers series, the very early series of the Power Rangers, and then everything else I just haven't seen because I just cut off at that point. So yeah, we're going to definitely be sharing some memories of the Power Rangers. We're also going to do obviously ITV, as I mentioned before, the children's BBC, aka CBBC, the BBC programs, because I do remember bits of BBC programs from my early days, and then into me growing up, I would also watch a bit more BBC at that. Yeah, so we're going to have opportunities to remember that. I mean, obviously, I didn't really have much to remember with Cartoon Network because I didn't really watch Cartoon Network as much as I want to share the memories. I didn't really watch it enough to be able to see ITV and see BBC bound, if that makes sense. But yeah, really, that's pretty much all I've got to say, really, for the Fox Kids stuff. And if you have any memories of Fox Kids, be sure to let me know in the comment section. Like, if you have any shows that you remember watching or remember seeing on Fox Kids that brings back memories for you, then yeah, by all means, share them in the comment section and we'll definitely relive those memories. Because I mean, I always looking back at the 90s because I just miss the 90s so much. It was such a... Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all in my next childhood TV memories where we're going to relive the Power Rangers. I'm definitely going to bring this out a little bit sooner because I want to get this out so we can then go into BBC, hopefully go into, you know, ITV and then eventually BBC stuff when it comes to childhood TV memories. But anyway, see you then.
Fox Kids, Fox Kids, Fox Kids, Fox Kids, Fox Kids.